I'm gonna make him a diaper out of a "Don't Tread on Me" flag.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to A Conversation with Colin. I'm Greg, and this is my roommate, Colin. Now, sometimes this big old lug says crazy things. So every Tuesday and Thursday, I reach into my random topic pile, pull one out, toss it at him, and we talk it out for your amusement. If you like
I love that arm movement.
I know you do. It's good. Like, it's a good flair, right?
Yeah.
I've got this part down. It's the outros I just make up now, and they all suck. If you like that, like the video, share it with your friends, yada, yada, yada. Today's topic of conversation is, what is the most annoying thing about each other? Submitted by AlbinoAssCheek.
I don't know.
You don't know what's annoying about Greg Miller. We work together. We've worked together for 6 long years. You live with me for what? We're going on. It's been 2. We're almost at 2.5.
Yeah.
No, it's more like 2. Whatever.
Well,
2.
yeah, about 2. Yeah.
Yeah. We're on a podcast. We do this.
Mm-hmm.
Even your weekends, you can't get away from me. You come home, I'm here.
Nope.
You got nothing.
No, no.
I got a list
Go
for
ahead.
you.
You hit me with yours.
The problem with Colin is just that it's one of those things where I'm the same way, but I'm older now. I've been doing what I do at work at IGN a little bit longer, and so when I come home, I can just like block it all out. And Colin will come home and like the same conversation we were having at work, we'll start having here. It's just like, dude, I'm editing a video about Batman. Can we not talk about this? That's the only thing that gets me down. I wish I had a desk. This is more, I guess, now it's just what's annoying about our house. I wish I had a workstation. I could just go be alone.
Well, you hate me. I don't hate you, so it's
I don't hate you.
That's
I'm out here, I'm talking about Batman, you come out, you start plinking on the guitar next to me.
Well, I have nowhere else to go.
Yeah,
Where do you want me to go?
You live in a shoebox,
What do you want me to do?
Francisco.
It's a pretty big shoebox, but I just don't feel like being I'm in my room playing games all the time. I don't want to be in my
You
room.
like to be 99% alone.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're actually one of the only people I've ever met in my entire life where I don't mind being around you as much as I am.
And that's the interesting thing, we've talked about this before, that we don't get in fights usually.
No, we've been in one fight.
We've been in one fight ever.
And that was recent.
Yeah.
More recent than...
And there was extenuating circumstances. It wasn't just like I left the cup out or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Things were happening. But, yeah, like it's weird, right? Like you'd think we would get sick of each other.
Yeah, I'm not sick of you. I don't know what it is. I think it's a kind of a lot of people reflect on this actually at work or people we know, people on the internet. Like, how do you not get tired of each other? How do you, even like my best friend at home, Ramon, right? You know Ramon.
Yeah.
We lived together. We lived next to each other when we were freshmen, and then we lived together when we were sophomores. We wanted to fucking kill each other. You know, I love Ramon. Like, I would go to the mat for Ramon, do anything for him. Like, but we can't live together like that.
Yeah.
You know, like so it's unique. Like, I'm just as close to him as I am to you, and it's just we have a different kind of dynamic, I think. And I don't know, like why it is or what that means, but. I don't know. You're loud and boisterous sometimes. I mean, I don't know. You don't really annoy me. I mean, I'm just.
We're like yin and yang in a lot of ways, right? The other way I always describe us, we once talked about something and like it was the same situation, but we had different views on it. I'm like, well, that's why I'm Superman and you're Batman. And you said something annoying, like, well, that's why you're totally out of date. And nobody cares about you, and I'm cool. I'm like, I didn't mean that. But I meant more like, I'm always really positive, right? I'm always trying to see the good in people and the good in the situation. And you're always like, fuck everybody. Everyone's out to get us. We gotta kill them.
Yeah, I mean,
but Batman doesn't kill Batman.
For me, yeah, it's just my whole outlook is just that I'd rather take care of my own business and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I find it funny. I find it funny when I'm at work and I hear you across the office being completely fucking loud all the time.
Yeah.
But, at the same time, like, the funny thing about that is that's not really you.
Right.
So, like, that's the funny thing is that people just don't understand who, I think a lot of people have no idea who you really are. Like, that's the funny thing is I know more than anyone, even more than your girlfriend, I think, in a lot of ways, who you really are because I've watched you. We've been friends for the entire, I've known you longer than Steiner.
I see.
And I've worked with you. For a long time.
Right.
And so, like, I've watched you evolve.
Yeah.
And the core Greg's never changed, ever. Yeah.
It's
a lot of funny things that we've done together and a lot of funny stories that people don't know, and I'll never tell them.
Yeah.
About, like, before the UFC fight, for instance. but watching you evolve and, like, watching your personality split off into your persona, which is your online persona, the way you are Up at Noon or on Podcast Beyond, and then the real Greg Miller. I'm quite endeared to the real Greg Miller.
Right. He's a quiet guy.
I think that when we do Podcast Beyond or when we do a conversation at work, not this, but when we do a PlayStation conversation or a video, you're on Up at Noon, we do all these things at E3 and stuff like that. That's not the real Greg. That's the Greg that is boisterous and happy-go-lucky and stuff all the time. But I think that you do that because that's like what you want to be more of in your everyday life or whatever. And so you're able to do it on a camera. Right. And then when you're, I actually always say that like I'm actually much more talkative and louder than you are in real life.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I think you brought it Beyond. I mean, I think on Beyond we are more ourselves, like, you know what I mean, our real people, right? Like, I'm quieter on Beyond. Damon made that reference. He was just on podcast a little while ago, and he talked about that, you know, he found it interesting that when we're on that show, like, you talk way more than me. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm hosting it, right? Like, I'm driving the conversation and getting there. And plus, you're rarely wrong. He's Colin Moriarty.
Yeah, that's
Nails
true.
it every time. Knocks it out of the park.
I think I'm consistently subdued, except for, you know, times of lucidity when I want to be loud.
Times of lucidity.
When I want to be
They're
loud.
few and far between with you.
They are.
Then they're just back to talking about pizza.
But no, I think our relationship is one of a kind, I think. And I don't think that's ever going to really change. We're not going to live together forever. We're not going to work together forever. Like, it's like that we're going to eventually go our separate ways professionally. And,
Unless you keep sharing these YouTube videos, and they do really well.
But I mean, like, you know, when we're 40, I assume we'll, like, you know, be...
You'll have some kid. I don't want to hang out anymore.
In different places.
He'll be one of those dads with, like, the diaper genie around him all the time.
Yeah, right.
And, like, his dumb kid will be in a little New York Jets jersey. You're like, okay, like, enough of this.
I'm going to make him a diaper out of a "Don't Tread on Me" flag. So... Yeah, so like I think that's like a unique thing, and like when you're around a person a lot or when you're good friends with people, there are things that bother you about every person, but like I don't know, you're the exception. So I'm sorry that I bother you.
Oh, fuck off! I said one thing, and what was that we got to stop having this. It's better now that we're not on the same team. Now that we have different roles, I rarely talk to you at work.
Yeah, we don't.
So then you get home and you tell me news. Now it's different. But in the old days, it was like I've been talking about this for 6 hours with you. I don't need to talk anymore.
Talk about how good Killzone is. For 6 hours.
Let me tell you about that Killzone mercenary punkhead. All right, Colin.
Yeah.
I think that wraps up the conversation. Thank you so much, AlbinoAssCheek. It's a good name, too. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have an idea for a conversation, make sure you leave it in the comments below. Then like, subscribe, all that jazz. And make sure you come back every Tuesday and Thursday for a new conversation with Colin. Until then, have a conversational day. Give me a hug. There it is. Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez.
Oh, dear.
I dropped my
mic.
dear. I might or might not have something to say about botany or shoelaces. I don't know. You haven't asked, really, but... But, you know, I do like plants, flora, as the scientists might call them.